Welcome to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you'll hear about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Now, let's join your hosts, Spivvy Williams and Terrible T-Guy.
Okay, guys, we're at a next event for Event Radio, and we're at the event that everybody in the world said would not work. The T-Bone. This is the world's only drag race event where they have Top Fuel Harleys and nostalgia drag race cars, and they all run together.
It don't get no better than this.
Oh, I know. This is old drag racer guys' heaven, but. Dallas Jones was smarter than everybody else in the free world.
Man's a little ahead of his time.
Yeah, to come up and dream up that this would work. And what's so cool, everybody said, well, the car guys will hate the bike guys, the bike guys will hate the car guys, and all this kind of stuff. And nothing is farther from the truth.
Well, they're all racers at heart.
Yeah, but nothing is farther from the truth. I mean, the car guys get up there and gals get up there to do their deal. The bike guys leave the pits. They come up and watch. And then the bike guys, the Top Fuel guys and stuff like that, they get up there. Well, all the car guys, they go from the pits up to watch them.
They both appreciate what each other do.
Yeah, I think so.
Get the other end first.
So. And I think it's a universal language of just being a flat racer. You know what I mean?
Language of speed.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's 2 wheels, 4 wheels, 1 wheel, soapbox derby, whatever it is. Racers are racers, and we are just fortunate as we can be to get to talk to all of them out there with this little radio show. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna meet the what I'm gonna call the first lady of speed of this event. She is faster than any gal in this whole nostalgia drag race league, and we're gonna get to introduce her to you live and in color on Event Radio. We will be right back. Okay, guys, we're back with what I was kidding with and playing with, the first lady of speed at this event, Miss Michelle Lewis. Michelle, how are you, my dear?
I am great, thank you.
I tell you what, gal, front motor dragster, front engine dragster. Now we got to emphasize that. Blown small block Chevy runs 200 and what?
15.
215 mile an hour.
Yeah, that's not the normal speed, but we were trying to slow it down and got lucky, and the gods blessed me and threw some fairy dust down, and we go 215.
I tell you what, in a front motored car, have you ever driven a rear engine car?
No, this is my one and only car. This is the only thing I ever wanted, so this is what I started with, and this is it.
Well, gal, I tell you what, it's I have actually personally done both, and I don't mind telling you, front motor car scared me to death. It really, and it was an O and didn't have anything but a big block Chevrolet in it,
right.
You know. And I don't know why, because the funny cars never scared me. But the front motor dragster, I guess it was a false sense of security. The old body being there, even though it was just a piece of 10/8 inch
exactly.
thick, made you feel like that there
right.
was something.
Yeah, and I'm just the opposite. I'm terrified of closing that body down on top of me. So
there's no funny car in your future?
No, not whatsoever.
You don't think old hubby Skip would go for that,
well,
or what?
You know, that's the funny part, because when we first decided that we were going to try to go racing, he is a funny car fan, and I am the dragster fan. So we started looking, and we determined whichever one we found first, that's what we were racing.
And Mama won out.
Mama won.
I could have answered that question way before we asked it, you know. Let me ask you, you've had a couple of hairy little rides in that car.
There's been a couple. We blew a head gasket at Indy one year, and so I had the nice little oil in, so that was a nice experience, not being able to see at about 8th mile. And then we've actually tagged the wall here at Bowling Green.
Just had to make sure how close it was, you know.
Well, we had a new set of tires, and we were not positive on the air pressure, so obviously we still didn't get it right that round, and the tire shake was so bad that it vibrated a nut off the steering arm, so I didn't have steering. So Yeah,
That had to be pretty exciting.
it was exciting, and I was doing everything that I was told that I was supposed to do, and I felt like that it shouldn't have happened. I feel like when you do what you're supposed to do, bad things aren't supposed to happen, but apparently they do. And everything went into slow motion, and I even keyed the radio and said, I'm going to hit the wall, but apparently that wasn't enough for Skip to process that before I actually hit the
Before
wall.
you actually tagged the wall. It probably got his attention pretty
It
good.
did, and my poor mother, bless her soul, she was just terrified because here's her daughter out here, and all she sees is
Her little girl is done messed up
exactly,
here, right?
yes, concrete dust flying everywhere, and just panic mode set in.
Well, the thing about it, and one of the big things that they preach with a front-motored car is you are actually pretty doggone safe, other than the motor being in front of you.
Yeah,
you
which
know,
is the main thing.
well, yeah, I know, but you've got a killer roll cage and you got two big rubber bumpers on each side.
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely, yeah.
so you're actually safer there than maybe in the middle of the car. One thing that I think that I experienced, I don't know about you, but the front motor car was a lot easier to tell when it was going straight.
Yes.
The mid-engine, when you're in the middle of the car, it can get pretty well crossed up, and you don't feel that. You actually have to line up the front end with something way on down at the end
Right,
to
right.
know if it's straight. And that front motor car, you can actually drive that. You know.
Yes. Well, relatively speaking, you can drive it.
Oh, well, you do a good job of it. You do a good job. Of it.
I've been told that for some reason I have a natural gift, and I was never even in a race car until I was 39 years old. So, unfortunately, that gift went unused for all of those previous years.
No, you were just getting ready for it.
I guess.
That's what it was. So you were just getting acclimated and ready to do
I
it.
guess I was doing something.
And then you jump in with both feet into the wildest thing out here.
I
you know?
did. Because I was a brand new driver, we did have this Woody Gilmore car, and I have friends that run in the Pro 750 Index, and that's where my ultimate goal was. I wanted to race with my friends.
Sure.
But being a brand new driver, my husband was not about to put me in a 750 car and say, here, go learn. So we started out with a 9.5 second car, and
Okay.
The very first year, I don't want to insult anybody or offend anybody, but I was bored. I would get halfway down the track and go, okay, what's next? Or who's doing what next? Or who's having lunch? Or who's fixing dinner? And
You know, I'm sorry, but I agree with you 100% because I've been there, and I know where those feelings come from.
Mm-hmm.
And the first ride now you take, it's way too fast, and I think you'll agree. The first time you sat in that car and you stood on the pedal, you said, whoa, this may be more than I want to do. But then every pass after that, it slows down. Even though it's going faster, mentally, you're ready for it, and it slows down. Am I pretty close there?
Yes, and I have a hard time explaining it to non-racing fans. They're like, how in the world do you do everything going that fast? And I've found that I explain, I'm in the car, and so I am moving at the same speed that the car is. It's no different than you going down the highway at 60 miles an hour in your car. And don't you change the radio station, and don't you pick up the cell phone, or don't you put your purse over here, or don't you turn around and talk to your kids. You're doing that at 60 miles an hour. How do you do that?
Yeah, right.
It's the same principle.
Well, a lot of them shouldn't be picking up their cell phones at
Exactly.
60 miles an hour
Exactly.
because they're
Exactly.
dangerous.
Right.
You're a lot safer out here at
Oh, absolutely.
200
Absolutely.
than
Yeah.
they are doing that.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything in your mind to ever want to go quicker? Maybe a nitro car or something.
Nitro, the magic voodoo.
That's sort of like that's sort of like asking an alcoholic if he wants a beer, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. We do love the thought of entertaining nitro. It's just the expense is
Would
way.
you do that with a front motor car, though, Gail?
Yes,
You would.
yes. My hero of nostalgia drag racing is Mindy Fry,
Okay.
and
All right.
she is the goddess that I worship the ground she walks on, and she
Front motor fuel car. There you go.
absolutely front motor fuel car,
Yeah.
first girl to go 250. I can't imagine going those speeds. I couldn't imagine going 215. We never thought we would get there, and like I said before, just the fairy dust fell at the right time and the right day, and I don't know. It's out there, and that question's been asked to me before. One by Brendan Murray. who's also, Nitro Top Fuel.
Sure.
And out in San Jose. And he was like, here, I got the car. Let's go. And I was like, you're crazy. So, I don't know. It's out there.
Yeah, well, you'll have a boatload of fans if you do. I promise you that.
Yes.
Because you got a boatload of fans with this.
Well, I
where
appreciate
did
that.
where did the name Scary Thought come
My
from?
father. I grew up in hot rods and street rods. My dad does interiors and street rods, so that's I grew up in the rumble seat of a '39 Ford convertible.
That'll work.
And so that's the world that I knew. So that philosophy is low and slow. We started doing push car duty. We have a '62 Bel Air station wagon, so we started doing push car duty here at the reunion. And the more we started meeting the old drag racers and getting involved, it was like, this is what I like. These cars still have personality and character, and they're not so involved with the corporate sponsorship that they can't enjoy themselves and have fun. They race maybe once a month, so it's not an every weekend thing, so the budget and finances were doable. So that's how we started talking about it. We wanted to find a car and get involved with that. Once we found the car, we were still just going to do Cacklefest stuff. As my car sat in my driveway and I'd push my garage door opener in the morning and it would open and I'd see those front wheels just laid over to the side, I'd just smile. Every morning
There you
it
go.
started my day off just smiling.
And let me interrupt you. You are an accountant, is that
I
correct?
am an accountant.
All right. I had to throw that in. This girl has got it down by the numbers.
Well, you got to make it work. You got to know what
understand.
column to put
But I had
everything
to
in to
throw
make
that
it
in.
work.
I had to throw that in. I'm sorry.
So the more I looked at it, the more I got to thinking, I wonder if I could drive this. So Skip agreed that it would be okay and we would give it a shot. And so I was talking to my dad one day, and I said, Dad, just think. I said, next year I could be driving a Nostalgia front engine dragster. And he put his arm around me and he says, baby, that's a scary thought. And I said, Dad, you just named my car.
There you go. Well, I can understand that,
And it does. He does not like it to this day. It makes him a nervous wreck.
Well, that's a dad, hon. I mean, dads and daughters have a special bond,
They do. They absolutely do.
I think boys and their moms do, and dads and daughters. I know I do with mine.
Yes.
And they're sort of special, So
Right.
you want to guard them as much as you can, and
Right.
and that's a natural thing.
Yeah.
But you can't keep them from living,
Right,
to
right.
have be that guardian deal.
I've only been racing for 5 years, but of those 5 years, I think my father has probably only seen me make 3, maybe 4 passes.
Well, I understand that too.
He would much rather just get a phone call and say, I ran this or I didn't run that, and just leave it at that.
Well, he knows that if he gets the phone call, everything was cool anyway.
Right. Well, except for the
Dads
phone call.
are pretty smart about
except for
that.
the phone call when I hit the wall, because
Well, it was probably still okay because you were on the phone,
Yes, because we have so many friends that do both, the drag racing and the hot rods. So I immediately knew that as soon as we got back to the pit, I had to call Dad, because otherwise he was going to get told before I got a chance,
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Well, we're buddies on Facebook, and we,
Yes.
we talk on there, guys. So it's not like just I ran up on this lady. No, I've
Right,
never
right.
seen you before, but so we're buddies there, and
Yeah.
you can actually go on Event Radio Facebook page, and we'll talk to you and all that stuff, and Miss Michelle will too if
Yes,
you get on there.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
how can they find you, girl?
They can either find me on Facebook, just Michelle Lewis, or they can find me through our website with the Nostalgia Drag Racing League, which is nostalgiadragrace.com, through our website there. I'm pretty easy to find. I have tons of friends, and they're either race car people or just show car people. Any and everything that has to do with cars, it's all good.
Well, let me tell you something, guys. After you find her, she's a fun gal to get to talk to and that kind of stuff, because we've been doing it for a while. We have a little something to give you when we leave. That we're starting. We've actually started at one event before this one. But we have a special decal made up that the
awesome.
only people that have those are the people that have been guests on this show.
Oh my gosh,
So
Skip
you
will
are-
be so thrilled.
So you are now in an elite club, gal. And what's really cool, I mean, West Coast, wherever, if you go and you see one of them, you got a common bond to talk about, because
Absolutely.
they have actually sat in this seat,
Yeah,
or they
that's
would not
awesome.
have the decal.
That's
you know,
awesome.
so we'll let you. Skip's giving me the evil eye, like he wants you to do something. So
He
I
does
guess,
that occasionally.
yeah, he's saying, you've been about enough time talking to my wife. Let's do this. Gal, thank you so much
Oh,
for
thank
being
you.
on
I
Event
really
Radio.
Really
We
do.
appreciate it. You make our job really, really easy and a lot of fun, too.
Well,
so
that's what it's all about. It's just having fun and being with friends.
that's it, Gal. Guys, we will go cruise a little more, and we will find somebody else to torment. We've tormented Miss Michelle enough. We'll let her go back to work, and Skip won't be throwing any wrenches at us or anything. And we will be right back. All right, guys, we have found the gentleman that is the conductor, I guess you would say, like the big orchestra deal, the conductor that makes everybody do. You are the race director for the Nostalgia Drag Race League, right?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
The Grand Poobah. Or whatever.
I'm the guy that you better listen to if I tell you what to do. How's that?
Well, you just sort of guide them and keep them straight. Huh?
Exactly.
There you go. Jason, what was it?
Becker,
Becker.
Yep.
Okay. Where are you from, Jason?
Cincinnati.
Okay. That's cool. That's not far.
About 4 hours.
Yeah, not bad. This show, we have talked, and I know it's unusual for you guys to be in with the Harleys. And Dallas really hit a home run here because everybody thought that the bike guys wouldn't like the car guys and the car guys wouldn't like the bike guys. And as it turned out, it's a marriage made in heaven.
I think it's a pretty good mix. You know, this is my first year here with the Harley guys. First year as race director for the NDRL. And if you look around, I think the bike guys are just as interested in our stuff. And you see us kind of nosing over in their pits, kind of interested in their stuff. And I think it's just kind of neat for the both of them to check each other's stuff out and kind of intermingle. It looks like a pretty good group.
We commented earlier when the nostalgia cars are running, the bike guys are in the stands, and when the fuel bike guys are running, all your guys are in the stands.
Yeah, right.
So it's a common bond, racer to racer.
Yeah, you know, it's not something you would normally see at any event, and I think that's part of the uniqueness of it. And like you said, I think Dallas hit a home run here, combining the two.
Well, it's a great event for us. This is the second one of the bike deals we came. I think it's the first one with you guys, and of course we're old race guys.
I think they ran with them here last year.
Yeah, we didn't get to do the radio thing
Right.
last year. We did it on just a regular radio station that was a local deal last year.
Right.
And this one we reached just a few more folks. So it makes it fun. What's the hardest thing about your job being a race director?
Well, it's a great job, and as long as everything's going good.
Aren't most of them?
Yeah. It's one of those deals where when something goes wrong, then I'm the guy they come to, and not every situation's the best. You have to deal with them each as they come. I'd say that, the hardest thing for anybody at any racetrack is to see, these people are my friends, and I hate to see anybody have any problems, have any accidents. That's probably one of the hardest things to deal with. As you travel with these people all year long, they become family. And we've had a couple incidents this year where they've put cars into the wall, and it happens. It's part of racing, but yet it's still one of those things that I just do not like to deal with. I wish it wouldn't happen, but it does, and that's just part of it.
Well, Dave Mullen and I are friends, and I talked to Dave, and he said that my favorite car of the whole NDRL got rolled and tore up.
The
Black Widow car. I love the little Willis.
Eldon Miller.
The little 33
he was out making exhibition runs, and fortunately it was only 8th mile. It could have been a lot worse. It had been quarter mile. It happened at 660 feet further down. He could have been going a lot faster. Like I said, the only fortunate thing to that was that Eldon walked away from it. But
he's a nice fella. He's
a super nice guy. Class act. And I've known him a long time. He raced at my local track, lives up by me in Cincinnati, and unfortunate for him to have that incident.
Well, it was sort of funny, and I got to tell you what back at one time ago he decided he might sell that car, and he had advertised, I think, in Dragster or somewhere, and he had a little sign that it was for sale down here. Well, I have been in love with that car since the first time I saw it. You know what I mean? And I go over there, boy, and I'm just looking, and the little devil inside saying, you probably might be able to buy that car. And then at the very same moment, my banker walks around behind it. I said, oh, man, I got to go. That's it. I got to leave,
Was that your wife?
No, that was actually my real banker.
Your real banker?
My real
Okay.
banker, that would have said, yeah, go ahead, if you want to. And I thought, boy, I sure don't need that because I had my fun doing it and had a big time and all that stuff. But I thought that was a first class piece. I love that car. I don't mind telling
Yes,
you. And
yeah,
I like all of your guys' cars. I mean, they're all cool.
We've got a lot of neat cars. I just seen Pat Fields drive by. He drives that 66 TTO.
Yeah.
That's another crowd favorite that wherever we go, everybody loves that car. And
Well, actually, that came from old tractor pulling stuff. You know,
Pat, yeah, he's an old tractor.
You know, I always wondered, and I'm going to ask him before the day's over. I'm going to say, what possessed you back years ago to strap all these motors on your butt and go out and try to pull 30,000 pounds, you know?
Right.
When drag racing was so much cooler, you know?
You know, he's still got all those couplers and everything and hold them motors together. And
Well, Army Armstrong's a good buddy of mine, so that's the way I know who, you know.
He's got plans, I can tell you that. I can't tell you what they are, but Pat has plans to bring a little bit of the tractor pulling world to drag racing.
Well, wouldn't that be cool?
So he's got a little project in mind we were talking about a little earlier today.
I thought that would be a cool deal anyway. You know,
Yeah.
Instead of just pulling the sled, let's race the sleds to the other end. I think, now see, that would make it a whole lot more interesting to me. You know?
Oh, yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. If you could woe them babies down with 5 motors on them.
Well, you know, Arfon's strapped a jet to his butt, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
those guys they know no limit, you know.
No, they don't.
But he's a
fun.
heck of a drag racer. The car always runs really well. And,
Yeah, Pat does well wherever he goes.
He's in the hunt, isn't he, to be in the top bunch? Or
Yes,
something?
yeah, he sure is. Pat's doing well in the points. This is our final weekend for points here, and we're going to settle it here on Sunday. We'll have our points champions crowned by the end of the day on Sunday.
There you go. Well, buddy, we will let you go with Event Radio and let you direct whatever.
Yeah, I got some cars to
you
check
gotta,
in
you gotta
and
direct.
got some work to do, and if they just let me sit around on the golf cart all weekend, I don't think they'd give me a check.
Well, then you'd be like us. You wouldn't get a check like we do.
Exactly,
That way.
exactly. So I'm going to get to work. Well, thanks
Jason,
for
my
your
friend,
time.
thank you very much for joining us on Event Radio. We're going to get out of here and ride a little bit, guys, and see what kind of trouble we can get into with being at a motorcycle event. And my buddy T, I'm sure we'll get into something. We'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, we were riding down, and I run up on. I see just the back of this car, and knowing that it's one of my favorites, the 40 Willises, I just love them. Then I turn around and it's got a blown motor in it, and I know I like it. I know I like it. Mr. Dave Waters. Dave, thank you so much for joining us on Event Radio, buddy.
It's our pleasure. We're glad to be here.
Where are you from, my friend?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, the twin, the arch deal.
Yes, sir.
Can you actually go up in that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can go up. They have tours up there.
How does that dude stand up? I mean, it looks to me like it would fall over.
Well, it hasn't yet.
Okay.
They did a good job.
They built it. The guys that built it evidently knew what they were doing.
Yeah. All American made.
Well, there you go. There you go. That means it'll probably stay there a while.
That's right.
You know, the blown 40 Willis has to be a handful to drive.
Yeah. They earn your respect and your attention.
So I take it you've been doing this quite a while.
We've been running this car for about 13 years now.
You know, you don't just jump off the side of the road and jump into one of these. These are a handful with a naturally aspirated motor in them, much less a supercharged motor in them.
Yeah, the short wheelbase, the horsepower. If you can transfer that to the ground, and it's a hell of a ride.
Fun ride.
You won't get nothing like that in an amusement park, I tell you.
How fast does the car go?
We run right at 200 miles an hour. Our fastest time's been 202. We usually run around 190, and we run the 750 index. Now we've been
I'm
as
familiar
low,
with that. I know how this works.
We've been as low as 717.
Buddy, that's back in my day. That was a very respectable old alcohol funny car time. You know, I did this back in the late 70s, so that was actually a respectable car. I had one a little quicker than that, but not until Dale Armstrong got done with it. And after he got done with that, mine went faster than that, but it didn't until then. But I love the Willises. I think they're so good. That just sort of jumps out drag race. You know, that's drag race history.
Yeah, they're real hot rods.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
They are. And most of them you see with the weird angle with the old straight axles and they're straight up and a front end. And
Yeah.
stuff. But this car looks like it's running 200 sitting here under this tent.
You don't want that front end sticking up there real high when you're going that fast.
No, it sort of wanders just a
Yeah.
little, doesn't it? Where are you points wise at this event?
Well, we missed the first 2 races this year, so we're not in the running. We're just here to be a spoiler.
Well, that's okay and have fun.
That's it.
That's what this whole deal's about. And honestly, I think that the nostalgia racing, you guys are the ones that put people in the stands. You know, that's when drag racing was at its true heyday. It was not just a handful of cars or a handful of teams that had a bunch of cars. Everybody did it, and the stands were filled up to see it. You know what I mean? And rightly so, because you guys are show dogs now. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, nowadays it's the old time burnouts. It's the engine horsepower and driver, because we don't have the electronics. We don't have any of that stuff. It's
I'm glad you don't.
It's all on us.
Well, I'm glad you don't, because that's what puts on a show.
No.
You know, we talked to a good friend of ours, and a fellow that you probably don't know him, but his name is Dickie Ogles, and he is the honor of winning more Wallies than anybody in the state of Kentucky. You know, he's won the U.S. Nationals several times, lots of things. And he said, you know, I brought my girlfriend out to one of those high-dollar bracket races. And she gets to ask me questions. Well, what is this? What causes this? What causes this? And he says, honey, it's just too deep. I can't even start to explain it to you. You know, but you guys pair them off, you go, and I know there's an index, and I know, you know, to keep them somewhat close.
Yeah.
You know. But I love it. I don't mind telling you, I love it.
Oh, you know, we run these indexes. We run 7.0, 750, 8 seconds, 850. And, you know, these guys are all running like 850, you know, with a 3, you know, with a 4. And we're talking about multiple people turning those times. And it comes down to the guy that tweaks just a little bit faster and pulls a perfect time. You know, it's very competitive, very close racing.
Well, you know, and it's great entertainment for the fans.
Yeah.
I mean, that, and let's face it, guys, without the fans, this would be a pretty boring deal. You know?
That's what makes it fun, when you see everybody going crazy.
Well, and that's what enables the track operators to be able to provide a place like this to be able to play. You know, you got to have the whole, you know, everybody says, well, if you'd pay the racers more money, you'd get more fans. I don't know. I think it's a mix of everything. You got to have it all. You can't have any one. You can't be missing any one thing, and it'd be successful. You know. No,
you know, the money would be great, but you know, this is my bass boat. This is my hunting rifle. You know, you don't get paid to go hunting. You don't get paid to go fishing. And we do this for the thrills.
This is sort of like being on drugs and somebody buying it for you. You get to make enough money
to
keep on doing it, right?
Yep.
Well, Dave, my friend, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to be on Event Radio. We really appreciate this. We have dedicated this whole show strictly to the Nostalgia Drag Race League, and we want to get around and before we get over to my buddy Dave Mullins, which Dave will direct the rest of the show once we get to him, you know, and I'm going to try to keep him till closer to the end, but he's a dear friend and a good guy and a great radio guest, believe it or not.
Yeah, him and Troy put together great programs for all of us guys with these cars, you know, and there's a lot of these cars around there. I hope more and more people come out and join us.
Well, guys, that's when drag racing was drag racing. If you want to see the absolute cream of the crop, the best there really is from a spectator side, you need to go to one of the National Drag Race League's events and check them out and do just like we did. Pull up next to guys like Dave and say, hey, can we talk to you? And he jumps up out of his chair and says, yeah, man. And we appreciate that. We really do.
So do we. We appreciate you guys' interest.
Hey, bud, we're gonna stab and steer this golf cart and see if we can't do a fire burnout somewhere. And we'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, leave it to us to wind up coming to their drag races and wind up finding a match for the WWE, you know, or WWF or whatever that thing is. What is your name, sir?
I'm Wayne Sears.
Wayne, you are the driver of. I love this car. I don't mind telling you because I'm an old funny car guy, so I appreciate the front motor. You know what I mean? I like those cars. Those are cool. What? Super Mouse?
Yeah.
How did you come up with that name?
It's a small block themed altered, so I just, you know, if the old rivalries of the rat motors and the mouse motors, you know, I went with the Super Mouse because it's a small block power.
Yeah, well, I had Ron Hope on the show earlier that drives, or on another show that does the Rat Trap fuel altered, and we spent a lot of time talking about that kind of deal right there. I like race cars that have a name. You know, they've gotten away from that, and that's a mistake, and that's one thing you guys do with the Drag Race League that I think is so cool. because you can relate. I mean, it's like the T-shirt, the Blue Max shirts, and the stuff like that, and like the American Pie deal of Dave Mullins, and the fans learn to recognize the car, even though you're the jockey. You know what I mean? And a lot of guys, they run their name down the side of it, which even I did that on my funny car, but. That was to get bookings, by the way, so they know who we called. But still, the fan recognition is a cool deal.
Yeah, and anywhere we go, everybody recognizes a Super Mouse Altered. I mean, it's known here in the Midwest, and everybody, like you say, with the Nostalgia Drag Racing League here, a lot of people have names on their cars, or numbers, or like Steve and Sally Walzak with the SS3 Altered, or Dave Schaefer here with a 334 Coupe at one time. It's just everybody recognizes those names.
Okay, now you and Dave are in a heated deal over who's going to spank who, right? Am I halfway correct on this?
You are very much correct. Dave and I have a rivalry that goes back many, many years.
Here, Dave.
Yeah, I'm actually paid to be here to take Wayne out first round. That's how bad these other people. Nobody likes him here. That car is the Super Mouth. It's not Mouse. Somebody just pronounced it wrong, so he stuck a mouse on the side. But it goes way back.
Yeah, we've raced for many, many years, and I'm in the points lead by 8 points, and there's two other gentlemen that have an opportunity to take the points win, and the rumor is that. Pat Friels hired Dave here to take me out, and Pat Malloy brought another person in our same class with us to take me out. So I've got a big target on my back, and they're looking to put me away early.
What's it feel like to make them worried? You like that?
I love it.
I figured you might. So he's a hired gun here, see, to come. Buddy, I always thought that Jesse James was dead. I didn't know, when they hire you to come in and do the dirty work. Is that right?
That's right. The last time that Wayne dominated for 3 or 4 years on championships, they brought me in. Of course, I took the championship home. So then I stepped away for a few years. Now here he is with a 4-time Pro 750 champion sticker on his car. So that's got to go away.
Let me ask you, how many time champion stickers on your car?
Actually, there's none on this car because... But in my defense, I've always had the best-looking car and the best-looking driver, okay, and then I wrecked that car, so now I just have the best-looking driver, and next year I'm coming back to take that championship away from him.
Yeah. I tell you what, you guys have got to be buddies. That's all there is to it. Because if not, you'd be out here wrestling in the middle of this parking lot, This is cool. This is really cool. This is not only the Nostalgia Drag Race League puts it back and puts on the show for the fans the way it used to be. You guys are showmen both on and off the track, and I, for one, really appreciate that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when the helmets are off, we're good buddies, and if one needs parts, or we've helped each other rebuild engines or whatever, but as soon as the helmets go on, I hate him.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, at least for 7 seconds anyway.
There you go. Is that how quick the car is?
Yeah, we run a 750 index.
Oh, okay. So you're part of the bad guys,
Yeah.
The hot rods. Everybody's talking about Pat Friels that we've talked to.
Yeah.
Is he really the guy to beat or?
There's actually several hitters in this class, and Pat is one of those guys to beat.
Yeah,
that 67 GTO, his runs the number.
Oh yeah. Well,
he's good. Pat Malloy also can run the number. Myself and there's several others here. You can't count anybody out. There's no easy gimme wins in this class.
Well, that's why you guys put on such a good show for the fans, and that's why the minute they call the Drag Race League cars to the lanes, everybody leaves the pit area and they go sit in the stands to watch you guys, and it's because of the show. They don't do that for bracket cars now, buddy.
No, they don't. And I know we've had several people come by this morning and ask when we're going to run the car. So they're all excited.
We got to get over the fight first.
Well, yeah, me and Dave will beat each other up in the pits a couple times.
Yeah, and let's be honest, Wayne is the man to beat here this weekend. Pat Friels is good, but Wayne has that 4-time sticker on his car, so we're all pulling for Pat.
I sort of saw that. I just had to throw a little, I just had to throw a little in the game,
Yeah, nothing like throwing salt on the wound.
Yeah, well, you got to keep the fire lit, right?
Well, yeah.
That's part of this deal. Well, buddy, let me tell you something. We really appreciate you guys being on Event Radio. We have a lot of fun with this, too. And you all make us very glad that we stopped and talked to you because
we're glad to have you guys down here. I mean,
we cover a lot of stuff and we talk to a bunch of folks, and we're going to give you our little badge. We will give you both one in case you get your championship car next year. I want you to have one of these. But
he's
we
not
have
going to get it this year, that's for sure.
Okay, but we have a badge of courage that we call, because you'd be surprised how many guys are scared to talk on the radio, you know. And so we have special decals that we give just people that have been on this show. And you guys both have one coming, because you not only talked, you all just about got ready to fight on this thing.
I was going to say, I think get to rip on Dave, it's all good.
Yeah, there you go, guys. Listen, thank you.
You notice he brought help with him. And
Yeah, okay. The bad guy don't need any help, right? Yeah. And I'm surprised he hadn't said, "Hey, the jockey don't walk the horse," you know. But we appreciate you guys taking the time to be on Event Radio. This is always fun for us. And coming to see you guys race is a treat for us, too.
Well, we enjoy having you here.
Well, thank you so much. Guys, we're going to stab and steer, get out of here and see what other kind of trouble we can get into, and maybe we'll find round 2 going on somewhere else, but you never know. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we have come all the way down to see the gentleman that is, from what everybody has told us, the man to beat at this event, Mr. Pat Friels. Pat, thank you for joining us on Event Radio, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Them guys are just too nice. It's something they want.
Well, I'm sure. Well, hey, one thing about it, you've mentally beat them. I don't know if you're going to outrun them out there, but you've mentally beat them already, I think, and that's a good thing, you know.
Well, we got a good car. These guys give me a good car. Maybe I'll just fool them in with a good car.
Well, when I came in, I was going to sing the little GTO song. And then I figured out, looking at it, it's got a little more than 3 deuces and a 4-speed, you know. So, and a 389. It's got more than that.
Yeah, it's a 526 GM block, 1071 supercharger, run on methanol, fuel injected. Have a 2-speed automatic and a pretty good old car.
Yeah, I'd say it's a very fast car. I have actually watched a car run, so I'm being just about as dumb as I need to be, because I know very well who you are, you know, and I knew who I was coming to see. You're an old tractor pull guy.
Yeah, I pulled tractors for a long time. Really enjoyed it when I done it. It was time to move on with that and stay home with the wife and kids, and we got in this drag racing, and the kids and I have really enjoyed it.
Honestly, and we're only talking to just a few people, which one you like the best?
Oh, I probably took the bottle away from the kids that got another foot on the tractor pull.
Oh, yeah. I've always wondered, what possesses a man to wake up early one morning and say, I'm going to strap about 12 motors on this tractor and go out here and pull about 35,000 pounds. Now, where do you get that vision? Is that something you dream in the middle of the night, or where do you know, because that's got to cost a boatload of money with that many engines, and even if it didn't, to keep them all running. You know?
Well, it was a lot of work, and when I done it, tractor pulling would pay its own way.
Okay.
It is a lot of work, and one reason I had all those motors because you take some off and run a lighter class, keep adding and run the heavier and more powerful class. But tractor pulling was good to me, and it did pay its own way.
Well, boy, that's great. That's great. I was kidding you about our old buddy Randall Bowles. Randall and I have been friends for a long, long time. And I know you guys have raced together a bunch with that old 57 Chevrolet he's got. You guys are pretty good friends, too, huh?
Yeah, Randall's a real nice guy, good guy to travel with. A little aggravating, but, you know, I aggravate him, he aggravates me more. But, yeah, Randall's a super good guy. I don't think he's going to make it this weekend, but really enjoyed it. He's the one got me in nostalgia racing. We had a motor and put in his car and come down here to help him tune it and kind of got the nostalgia bug and have really enjoyed it. Really.
Well, he's out. He's got that old salvage yard, and he's out there burying them cans of money out there on that property. See, all that cash, he's got it marked all the way around them gallon fruit jars with all that $100 bills in them that he's got buried out there. You know.
He told you there was jars?
Oh, well, maybe they're 10-gallon cans. I don't know what they are. 55-gallon drums. Oh, okay.
All right. He empties a methanol barrel.
Yeah.
Those are full of money.
Well, yeah.
And then they're just barrels of methanol, empty barrels full of money in Randall Burns.
Got all them $100 bills in them, see? Well, yeah, I understand that program. That makes a lot of sense to me.
But I'll tell you about Randall. He'll hide the 10s and 20s, too. It ain't just 100s.
Oh, yeah, well, he is a tight fella. Now, I know I've known him a long time, and you know that with you and I sitting here talking. We got another acquaintance that's a good buddy, a fellow by the name of Army Armstrong. that I'm sure Army has talked more about you than you've talked about you, being the announcer for the TNT and the truck and tractor power shows and all that stuff. We're good friends and great guy.
Army is a super nice guy. A lot of us guys that pulled back in them days, he took care of us, kind of taught us the ropes on getting to and from pulls and not get lost on the way there, because he had been there and helped us along. Army was super nice to all of us pullers.
It's like Terry calls his GPS Magic Marilyn, because his ex-wife's name was Marilyn, and in that way, anytime it says something, he thinks she's still over there telling him how to go to get where he's going, you know. But Army gave you directions, huh?
Yeah, he told us how to get to a lot of places. Some of them would never.
How did he know?
Well, I reckon he's been around the world twice and stopped once in the middle.
Yeah. Well, that's what he'll tell you. Now, that's what he'll tell you.
He should sing that Johnny Cash song, because he's been everywhere.
Okay, all right. Car running to suit you down here, you think? You haven't made a pass yet, but you will here shortly.
Yeah, we was at Epping, New Hampshire 2 weeks ago. Had a very good car up there, and driver lost it in the final. But the car's been very good this year. We had a little motor damage at the beginning of the year, and actually for the Hot Rod reunion here, we put the motor back together on Sunday and came down here, and it's been real good since. The driver just keep making error, but the car is real good.
Yeah, but the driver can work good under pressure. I've watched that too, and you do. If you didn't, all these guys we've interviewed before we come down here, they wouldn't say, well, Pat Friels is a guy to beat here, you know, and you got them. I don't know whether your car is that bad or you're the Doc Holliday of this event, and you got the bluff on all of them. I don't know. Which one is it?
I think I'm more White Earp.
Oh, are you? Okay. All right. You got the long guns.
Yeah,
I got you.
I got the crew that's Doc Holliday, and he's one steering them.
So. Oh, okay. All right. Good deal. Pat, my friend, thank you so much for joining us on Event Radio. It is a pleasure. We consider you a hometown guy from being as close from here as you are, you know, and nice gentleman. Thank you so much for being on Event Radio.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate being here.
All right, buddy. We will be right back, guys. We're going to stab and steer, and no telling what else we'll get into, but just hang in there with us. All right, guys, we have run up on a gentleman that probably knows, I would guess, almost as much history about Beach Bend as we do, you know. What is your name, sir?
Roger Brown.
Roger, from what I understand, you have actually been racing at Beach Bend off and on since the 60s. Is that correct?
Right, 1963.
1963.
Yeah.
Well, my partner in the show has a dad that was pretty famous that I'm sure you ran into back in those days, a fellow by the name of Elmo Guy.
I knew him real well.
Yeah, great guy. Great guy.
Great guy.
As a matter of fact, you'll want to listen to one of our shows. We'll give you a card because he actually hauled Terry and I around as kids. And I took the very first ride, and Terry did too, down a drag strip in the back of the 55 Chevy.
That's amazing.
Well, yeah, but the real amazing part was Elmo didn't know we were in there. We were in the trunk. so
yeah.
he really was not aware that we were there. But you'll listen to that on the show.
Yeah.
Say you've been racing here for all those years.
Yes,
huh?
Off and on, not constantly, but off and on. I've been coming to Beach Bend since '63, and I had an Anglia just like this one here, and I raced it here. And
so the nostalgia drag racing is right down your alley because you've never quit.
I've never quit. Really, I quit for a while and built some show cars. I had some Willies and Anglias that I built. I've owned 12 Anglias in my life.
Well, you must like them pretty well.
Yeah, pretty well.
So there's a lot of Anglia history in drag racing.
Oh, yes.
You've got the old PAL Service Center car, that the gold car that Mr. Payne.
Yeah, and I drove that car back in the day. Me and Henry Putman, he drove it most of the time.
Exactly.
And we'd go to these drag strips, and Henry, he'd get a little bit feeling good, so I'd drive the car.
Are you saying he got into too much adult beverage? Is that one of those deals?
One time we went to Mountain Parkway, and Henry walked out on the track. He said, can you see the other end of that track? I said, I sure can. He said, you better drive.
Well, yeah. Of course, that's not done anymore. But back in those days, you know, there weren't quite all the rules that they have.
No,
now.
I know it. Yeah, but Henry, he wouldn't drive if he got
he
got
knew
too
his
much.
limits.
He knew his limits. Yes, he did. And I was at Ojai Valley when Ed Payne upset the car.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Harrison County Dragway. You have that on the back of your car.
I started that drag strip.
Where is that?
That's in southern Indiana by Elizabeth, Indiana.
By Elizabeth, Indiana. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to. I thought I knew most of them, but that one, that one escaped me. I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Me and another gentleman, we asked a guy, said, could we start a drag strip? He said, do what you want. So we went out in a pasture field and we cut us out a track.
There you go.
And we had people like Dale Funk. He run there.
Oh, yeah.
You
well, I've heard of a lot of people going to Harrison County.
Yeah.
You know, at the time I did it, I didn't get a chance to do that, but I always wanted to. Now, I did go to US 60 to Hardensburg. I went to Ojai Valley.
Yeah.
Went to down at Paducah, down in Sturgis.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Yeah.
A lot of those things. And a track, actually match raced a fellow in an Anglia in Fairfield, Illinois, back years ago, and I believe they had the rod shop back then.
Yeah.
Or no, I take that back. They were the oh shoot, what was the name of that? They had Wayne County guys, Wayne County Speed Shop guys.
I don't know. It's been so long ago. Sometimes I can remember a lot of it, and other times, it's...
Well, you just remember the good stuff.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
You don't want to remember the bad stuff.
Yeah, just like that run I just made. That's the good stuff.
You want to remember, did it run good? What did it run?
Pretty good. It run a 1080.
1080.
Yeah, which it ain't 100 and...
We got the slip here. We can check out the slip and see.
And I had a bad run, really.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't look too bad to me. 119.37. That's not too shabby. I don't know. Yeah, I believe that's all right.
But this car here will run an eighth of a mile. It'll run a flat 6 at the right time, and it'll run right down on a 10 too in a quarter.
The little short wheelbase with the Anglias, is it a handful to drive?
That car there's not, but I have had them. It was 2 hands full. But this car, I built everything myself, and I done a little studying on it, and you got to get these chassis just right on a car like that.
Yeah.
Because they're so short wheelbase, you don't want to fight them things.
No, you won't. No, I would say not.
I went to Norwalk, Ohio recently, and they had a jet truck there. And that guy said, come on out. So I went out right after that jet truck, and he throws out about 15% of his fuel on the track.
And that's basically kerosene, right?
Yeah, and I was doing about that miles per hour, around 120, and my car got loose, so I just let it go. I didn't fight it, and I just let off the fuel, and it done all right.
Yeah.
But that's dangerous.
Yeah, that would make that's what they call pucker power.
I've had a lot of that.
Yeah, if you drive an Anglia, you've had a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because an Anglia is a handful. I don't care who you are.
We seen John Force up at Norwalk. And John said, you got one of the first funny cars ever made.
That's right. Exactly.
That's what he told me.
And I remember growing up, too, that watching the Anglias, and man, they would sort of go where they wanted to go, and the driver was just sort of along for the ride, you know?
Mm-hmm. If you got... Can we go inside the trailer? I'd like to show you some pictures. I built an Anglia, and I sold it. It's had a 392 Hemi in it with a Hilburn on it.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
And then I had a 41 Willys, had a 392 Hemi in it with a blower on it.
You like them old Chryslers, yeah. You like them old Chryslers.
Oh, yeah. I love them, yeah.
Well, I liked them in my old funny car days because I had Donovans that were the old
were
flatheads, basically, back then. And they run really well. They run really good.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure for us. Terry, of course, with his dad actually laid out the stock car track. Elmo laid the stock car track out here, and was one of the very first people to actually run down the drag strip when it was dirt.
Yeah.
But Elmo was a man to beat back then.
Yeah. See, I raced here against the Greenfields. I don't know if you
sure,
heard.
Doug and Pappy and
I raced them here on this truck.
Oh yeah. Pappy Greenfield was a legend here.
Oh,
he
he
ran an old
was,
street
yeah.
roadster, and then Doug came along. Later on, Doug and Dallas Jones partnered up to open drag strips, you know, and of course, Dallas, the rest is history. I mean, he now operates the number one, as far as I'm concerned, the number one independently owned racetrack in the United States, and that's Beach Bend Raceway.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
The Greenfields, they was hard to beat here on this track. They was tough.
Oh, well, listen. Back then, all the guys were hard to beat.
Yeah, they was. You know,
I always had a soft spot for Elmo because Terry and I have been friends forever, and I was honored that when they inducted Elmo in the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame, I got to go up and do his presentation.
Well, that's great.
To the deal, and that was really cool for me to get to do because he hauled our little butts around as kids. We raced go-karts as kids. And Elmo and my dad were big buddies, and they could keep those things running. And of course, Terry was faster than me, and we went separate ways. I took cars, he took motorcycles, and raced ever since. And then we got back to doing this radio thing, and we figured we're just having too much fun for old guys.
I imagine,
Listen, we won't keep you because we appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Well, I appreciate you interviewing me.
Well, we're going to make you a member of a very exclusive club. Terry's getting you some decals. Everybody that's on our show that has sat in your seat, they have to be on the show live to get these. But we have very special decals that we give you. So if you see another car or somebody with them on there, you can go up and talk to them, and y'all got something in common.
Yeah, really.
There you go.
Well, I sure thank you a lot.
Hey, listen, we thank you. We appreciate you taking the time, and we appreciate on behalf of all the fans that I know for all these years that have watched you do what you dearly love doing. Thank you for putting on such a great show for them. Thank you for hanging out and doing this, and thank you for just being a nice fella.
Well, thank you very much.
All righty. We're going to cruise a little more, guys, and we will be right back. Okay, guys, we're driving down through here, and I have to stop and visit. This is my favorite car at the event, and is my favorite car every time I see it run. It is, I know it's an Anglia. First off, Larry, tell everybody who you are.
I'm Larry Harlan. I'm from Rockport, Indiana, and I own a furniture appliance store in Rockport. We've been there 54 years.
And you got one bad Mammer Jammer race car, too, buddy.
Thank you. We built the car ourselves about the fourth season. It came off eBay. It was the chassis was already built. The body was in a crate, and it supposedly came out of California in Victory Race Cars.
Well, I tell you what, it runs straight, it runs fast, and is a sure enough crowd pleaser. Now, there ain't no doubt about it. They're even going to take the blanket off and let it breathe for a minute so we can get a picture of it. Yeah. But honest to goodness, number one, I'm crazy for flames anyway. I mean, I love a flamed anything. And then you got a chop top deal with flames that I love even more. Then you got a blown aluminum motor in it. You've just about put me in utopia right there. You know, how quick does that little car go? It's faster every time I've ever seen it.
Well, one thing unique about it, and you don't ever see it on any car that you even walk around there, it does have a clutch, and it has a 4-speed Linko. So I shift it by manual. I don't have an air shifter or none of that. And its quickest it's gone, it's been a 687 at 203 in the quarter mile. But our index is 7 flat, so we should be running right at 450 and 8, 7 flat in the quarter mile. That's our index.
Well, you can do that easily. That's not a problem. Yeah, you can do that and come back and drink tea. You don't even have to, on a car as quick as yours is, you don't even have to really work on it real hard. Yeah. Honest to goodness, this thing is probably the one of the most crowd-pleasing cars that is at this nostalgia race. I mean, this whole thing fires up, guys, and you have to be here to see all these fans run to the fence to watch this car. What did you race before you got this?
We built a 2002 Pontiac Firebird that was basically a top sportsman, but it was kind of off a pro stock type car. It looked like a pro stocker, but we ran top sportsman with it, and had a Linko in that, and it was a 500 cubic inch old Pro Stock motor that we ran in it. It ran 760s at 180 on motor, so it was pretty bad too.
Well, I tell you what, this car just really, honestly, guys, if I had to pick my favorite car at this whole event, and there's a ton of cars here. Now, I don't mind telling you, and I wish we could talk to everybody here. We don't get that opportunity. But this one was a must for me because you pick your favorites, and this old fat boy's been doing drag race stuff for over 50 years, and there's very few that I run to the fence to watch, but yours is one of them.
Thank you.
And I really, really think it's cool. Where do you go from here after this race?
We're going to run Ohio Valley in Louisville, Kentucky next week at the they have the October Door Slammer event that we've been there going there every year for the last 25 years, I guess. It's a nice track, and we'll run Top Sportsman there. And it's a dial-in bracket type race, you know.
Man, I'll tell you what, that is so neat. That is so neat. I can't spend much time here, guys, because I like this car too well. You know what I mean?
One thing about this car, I don't believe there's another one in the country.
Oh, no, there's not that I'm aware of. I mean, Terry and I do shows everywhere.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of cars that I like, but not a lot that if I were going to spend my money to buy a race car, that I would really be standing there foaming at the mouth. And yours is one of them, buddy. I don't mind telling you, because it's got everything that I like. I mean, everything that I like, except probably me having enough nerve at my old age to sit in the seat. I doubt that I'd do that. But, man, this is so cool. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes. And we had to wait on you to get out of the bathroom. You make sure you're all right and you feel good and all that.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for taking the time to be on Event Radio. And guys, one thing for sure, this show's nationwide. He'll probably let you look at his car when you go to buy furniture. You know, I mean, if you go to his furniture store to get to make Mama happy with a new couch or whatever, you all can go back and talk race cars while they're getting all that stuff done.
Yeah, a lot of times the car is in the shop back here in the back. So
yeah, that'd make me want to go to the furniture store. Normally with Susie, I don't want to go, so that would make me want to go.
Yeah.
Buddy, thank you again so much for being on Event Radio. We really appreciate it. T-Bone, we're going to ride for a minute or two and see what other kind of trouble we can get into, and we will be right back. All right, guys, we know when we started, we said that we were going to devote this whole show to the Nostalgia Drag Race League because we have already done a complete show on the motorcycle stuff. We lied because we got a buddy that we have had on the radio 2 or 3 times that is about to win the world championship at this stuff. And it's only right to get to talk to this gal, and it is a young lady, and a pretty young lady. And it is hard to believe, guys, if you see her, to even believe that she drag races motorcycles. Miss Stacy Borch. Stacy, how are you, my dear?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing really well, and I hope that comes true. I'm going to do my best to, for the championship this year. We're pushing for it.
Hey, gal, you're our horse.
Could happen. My best.
You're our horse if you never win a race. Because we're sort of like old family here because I've had the pleasure of having you on a radio show. This is about the 3rd or 4th time, something like that. Yeah. And they're going to think we got something going on here, girl, other than just being buddies. And actually, I'm buddies with Greg too, but I don't want to tell anybody that. You are the person. I was going to say the guy, and that's the wrong thing to say. But you're the person to beat in the class. How does it feel to be on the top looking down?
It feels good. Basically, I'm just trying to stay focused and work as hard as I can and not get in my own head about what everybody else is doing, And once in a while, you'll get a little mind game here and there. And, I'm just doing my best to stay focused because that's how I run the best. If I'm thinking about too many things, I'll mess up and blow it. So,
Well, you had to be on your game for quite a bit to get in the points where you are, gal.
We had some misfortune. I actually should have had an extra win, but lightning struck during my winning run in Maryland, and the points ended up not counting because we didn't have an official time slip. So, an envelope, a motor. We've had some unfortunate events, but I'm I'm determined this year. This is, I'm going to work as hard as I can to bring that plaque home. So I've been.
You not only got to beat all the guys, but you got to beat the weather
Yeah,
too.
beat the weather.
What kind of deal is this? Tell everybody how quick your bike runs if they have not heard you before on our show.
Oh, this thing's running good. And it's, every time I take it out, it's been better and better. I just won an 8th mile race in Mississippi, and my 8th mile speed, I ran 123 in the 8th. We didn't get a quarter mile speed, but that equates to an 8-second run if I could put it all together, which is what I'm trying to do this weekend. But, it's been over 152, but really, I know this motor has a lot more in it, so.
Well, it's not like you don't have the best guy in the country building the motors.
Absolutely. He
Greg
basically
Greg Dahl is the number one true Harley engine builder.
Absolutely.
I would just about say in the country.
There was no fuel injection available for my bike, and he basically invented it to fit my bike, and it's running like a dream. So, he's brilliant.
He does all kinds of innovative stuff. Does he wake up in the middle of the night dreaming this crap
Absolutely.
up or what?
He wakes up and writes things down, and it could be complex where I can't understand, or it can be a piece of duct tape here. It just he's always thinking.
Well, and the thing about it, what he's thinking about works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that not a lot of guys can do that, gal.
Yep, he's practical about it, and he doesn't get fancy and all these big old carburetors. He tries to use a simple formula, and it seems to work for us. So
well, I guess if you can keep it simple and make it work, that's the trick.
And then everybody can work on their own stuff from there. They don't have to depend on him to tune their stuff when he's
we
not
stopped
here.
and we stopped and said hi to our old buddy Johnny Vickers down the street here, and he said that you are going to do the Top Fuel class.
I can't wait. It's in a couple weeks, so. I'm really
Boy, I
looking
tell you
forward
what,
to
I
that.
wish we could be a fly on the wall for that
I know.
one.
I just can't wait to sit on one of those machines.
Is there a gal out there that rides a Top Fuel bike?
Yeah, from what I understand, there's a good bit of them.
Really?
And then they told me that no woman has ever failed the class, so no pressure or anything. But
Well, now that could be that no woman's ever taken the class.
I'm sure there have been a few. So and hey, I don't even know if I intend on doing anything with it. I'm open to it, but we just want to have the experience. I want to ride one of those things while I can, and if it evolves from there and someone wants to give me a ride, I'll take it. But I don't, I really have no plans yet.
Guys, let me tell you something. If you're listening to this show, this little lady is a media magnet. She was on the radio last night. She's back on the radio again today, and it's because she does what she does so well, and she's so media friendly. It just. You make our job really easy. So many people, we've kidded about our Badge of Courage decal, and so many people that being on the radio, you think we were Cobra Snakes or something, but you're just so naturally good at it. Well, no, you are, and from a sponsor's side, man, that's the dirty word. NASCAR pays those people to teach those bozos how to talk.
Absolutely, and that's what we're trying to do that too. We're trying to bring attention to the AMRA because they're a great organization, and it's the only all-American racing association in the world, because there's some in other continents, but they let foreign bikes run. We're the only one, and Greg and I, we have we're racing out of our pocket, so we're trying to partner with some good companies for good marketing opportunities for everybody. But that's my background. We're an insurance agency, and we come up with some cool marketing, and that's kind of just I've been trying to come up with some marketing ideas for our team just to really get the word out, because we're trying to draw attention to the AMRA. It's a great organization.
Can't you get the little Geico deal on the side there or something? Being in the insurance. By the way, guys, she is an insurance agent too. So I never had an insurance agent that looked like this, but that'd make you almost want to have a wreck so you could call. No, not really. I'm just kidding.
We have an all-female agency in Farmington, Pennsylvania, so we have a website.
Do you really? Okay, well, tell us what it is.
Penn Summit Insurance Agency.
I'm sorry, one more time.
It's Penn Summit, like Penn, like Pennsylvania, Summit Insurance Agency.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, guys, let me tell you something. If you want to get on board with a little lady that can not only walk the walk, she can talk the talk. And that's very important for companies now. When you have a representative at the racetrack, you want them at least to be knowledgeable enough and be able to explain what your company is. And to find a little gal that is like Miss Stacy, that is personable, that is attractive, that is can ride the wheels off a motorcycle, is a pretty rare commodity. So I think they'll come looking for you, gal.
Hey, we're open. I appreciate it.
It's just a matter of time.
Well, yeah, we get a lot of attention. We've got some of the fastest street legal Harleys in the world. Right now there's no other female in the world going faster than me on a street legal Harley. And I don't like to toot my own horn. Greg always says that because we just haven't seen any other ones anywhere. But it's, we get a lot of attention, and that's all. We thought, that's a great marketing opportunity for somebody. So. Oh,
it is. It's excellent. Gal, anytime we can do anything to help out, we want to. This little show, how how many people it goes in front of, and it is always our pleasure for you to take a few minutes and spend with us. We know you're busy, and we know you got a boatload of fans that we feel like we are depriving by keeping you here too long.
I appreciate it. It's going to be a great weekend of racing, great weather, and we're excited.
Well, Gal, we're excited for you, and do me a favor, send us an email if you win that championship.
Absolutely,
so we at whatever race we're in, there's a little gal that we had on the show, and I'll tell you right now, as we speak, she is running the WKA World Championship, and her name is Miss Savannah Fitzgerald.
Good luck, Savannah.
She is the only female in contention in the world for the World Karting Association Championship. And the thing about it, she probably will spank them. She is really good. We had her on the show. She's sat in your seat and a real sweetheart. And guys, trust me, the girls are where it's at. If you have a company and you want to get on board with a show enough nice gal, give Miss Stacy a call here. And Miss Savannah, if you're listening to the show, which I hope you aren't, because that means you're not leading the pack, but if you are, we want to wish you the best of luck in the world.
Kick some butt.
That's right. We want you to win everything there. Miss Stacy, thank you again for joining us on Event Radio. We will be right back, guys. All right, guys, we never go to one of these events without seeing my old buddy, Mr. Dave Mullen. Dave, my friend, daggone it. We would feel like we left our plants at home if we didn't have you on this show.
I got to tell you, Spivvy, it's just fabulous being with you. Good to see you again. I'm glad that the good Lord gave me the ability to be here and gave us this track, let me tell you.
Hey, bud, let me tell you something. Nobody, as many people as there are in the stands that jump up and watch you guys, nobody enjoys you guys being here any more than we do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an old drag racer, and daggone it, this is my kind of deal. I love these. I loved them when they were new.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, what's really funny, and a lot of guys will say, well, I've got an old car. Well, guess what? If it wasn't popular when it was new, you do have an old car.
Yeah.
But what you guys have got, man, you talk. Well, of course, your car. Who wouldn't like the American Pie car?
Yeah, I have to admit, the fans like it. They stand up when we launch. It yanks the wheels a couple feet.
You salute them. Yeah, you put the front end in the air about 3 foot.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
It ain't no fun if you ain't got just two wheels on the ground and you're not a motorcycle.
I know. And then you come by and your wife is so sweet. She gives you cookies. And
yeah, man.
And man, I tell you what, this is old home week here to me.
Winning the heart of every hearts and minds through their stomach,
and you've also got a neighbor here right next door that, guys, if we're going to make sure and take some pictures so that you can see this car. This is, I never thought that I would say that a Studebaker was absolutely gorgeous.
This is one of the prettiest nostalgia cars that exists,
telling you.
Period.
And I believe it's got a Donovan motor in
it. It does, a 417 Donovan with
a lot about
Mooneyham Huffer on it. My buddy Butch has been working on this since, it's been in Butch's family since, I think, the 60s, right? Yeah. 61, yeah. It was your dad's car originally, right? Yeah.
Well, this car, guys, is just absolutely, a Donovan #1, which is near and dear to my heart because I ran one of my old funny car forever and loved them. Mine was a Slug until Dale Armstrong got a hold of it. Then it got to going real fast. But to have that, number one, I love the color purple.
Oh, baby.
And then it's got flames, too.
It's
what kind of deal is this?
It's affectionately known as the hemorrhoid, I believe, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. Painted, yeah. Well, if it's a race car, it's a. Let's get you two guys talking to each other just a minute. You introduce the gentleman, and I'm going to hand the mic.
This is my buddy Butch Hill from around St. Louis area, and Butch and I met each other years ago at the Good Guys events, and we become like brothers over the years.
I think we met up in Columbus,
Columbus
Ohio.
Was the time we really got to know each other. We were pitted across from each other, and unfortunately, I remember they hurt the Stude motor that weekend.
Well, we scattered the bottom into the studio that day and wrapped a few rods around the crankshaft. And just made a nice little piece of art.
Yeah, and I had the opposite fortune. It was the first time that I had actually been in a semis, and it was a kind of a great weekend for American Pie, but the best weekend part of it was that we got to meet each other and become really close friends over the years. Absolutely.
We call ourselves, or at least we say we're brothers from a different mother.
Yeah.
And we've tried to figure out how to combine our last names, but
it
really doesn't come out well.
Mully Hill or Hilly Mull.
Mulhill.
Yeah, Mulhill.
He's a little older than me, so his name's got to come first.
There you go.
But no, we're down here at Bowling Green. This is an awesome event. We love Bowling Green. It's probably one of our favorite tracks. Probably is our favorite track, hands down. You feel like you're at a nostalgia event every time you're here. Even if the NHR Nationals were here, it still feels nostalgic. It's
Absolutely.
a great place.
Yeah, you got Dallas Jones, the owner, who treats us like gold, and he appreciates what we bring to the track.
You know what's funny, and you say that. I did about a 30-minute interview with Dallas back a couple of 3 shows ago. He treats every racer here like gold. And to Dallas, this is coming to his house. You know what I mean? I don't know, and we made the remark, and it sounds like we're crazy for bathrooms, but I have never been to a racetrack, number one, anywhere that I can remember that has air-conditioned bathrooms, much less golf carts with people, attendants driving around, wiping them down. You know what I mean? And Dallas treats us, I told him, I said, Dallas, this is not the Hilton, and he said, it is to me. So,
yep.
Well, and the grounds are always top-notch. They're always clean. The place is always just in perfect shape.
It's a testament to his dedication to the sport and his respect for the racers and the families. I live 20 miles from Route 66 in Joliet, and there's nothing wrong with that track. That is a fabulous and edifice to the landmark, of all types of modern racetracks. But, the fellas there didn't even think to put a shower in for Sportsman Racer. They made a mistake on that. It's a pro setup, Any good track that I know of has clean bathrooms. They respect the racers. They get you through the lanes quickly, and they give you a good surface to race on, which is critical, of course.
Well, let alone, the condition of the track outside of the track. I mean, as far as all the bathrooms and all that's great.
Yeah.
But the track itself here
there you go.
is always tailored. They've got this track nailed down. I mean, it's always sticky. It's always right.
And, this weekend is critical. This is the finals for the NDRL. We have a 5-race series this year. We had 3 races here. Our opener, the second is in late May. Our second race is the Hot Rod Reunion. We use that as a points race. Went to Norwalk for the Blue Suede Cruise. We had an event at Edgewater, and we're back here for our finals. And there are a number of guys in each class. There's 5 guys in 7.0 that are going to be dropping them off the trailer and running 7.000 in their qualifying runs, and it's going to come down to the wire. In 7.0, 750's got 4 guys in line for the championship. Comp, which is a combo class from 8.0 to 10.0, is 3 guys, and there's 2 guys in Pro Gas that are up for the championship, and I happen to be one of the lucky sons of guns that's there, baby. Yeah. Yes, I'm lucky.
Well, let's keep it going, because you're also, Dave, you're in the line for the championship in your area.
Yeah, I am, and I got to do well. It's up to me, though. There's no doubt about it. Nobody gives you a race, that's for sure.
You were talking pros. Now, you can say what you want on being a pro racer. To me, all of you guys are pro racers. Number one, this is Friday. A lot of people are working on Friday, so you guys are pro enough to be at the racetrack.
Yep.
You're pro enough to get out there and walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Yep.
And you do pretty well with the media. So what else is there?
Well, Spivvy, this is the dream come true for all of us. when I was a young man back in the 60s, you know, I say, Ohio, George, and the Stonewoods and Cook and everyone at my local track, and they were doing gasser wars, and I dreamed of having that lifestyle someday, traveling around the country with my gasser and going to meets, and we got this divisional thing now, and we do match racing also.
Sure.
It's a dream come true. Not only that, I'm lucky enough to be one of the founders of our organization, along with a dedicated group of volunteers that started this thing up from nothing, and it's grown to be this very well-respected organization, the Nostalgia Drag Racing League.
It's a great organization.
I'm telling you, and everybody works so hard, and they're tireless, and they do it for nothing. There's not one penny that we make. It's all for the racers and the respect of the Nostalgia Racing.
Well, and let me tell you what, now, you guys, you should be proud to be a feather in the hat of drag racing in general, because you're bringing it back to where the fans love it. You know, the drag racing has lost that appeal, and without you guys, without the nostalgia cars, without the heads up bumper to bumper racing that you do, with everything that goes along with it, guys, you're putting the butts back in the seats of what drag racing has needed for a long time, and guys, you need to get on board with these guys. They're T and I have spent the biggest part of the day talking to several of the guys. You may not know where all we've been, but we have talked to several of the guys, and they are so approachable. They are just, man, like old home folk. Yeah, come on, do it. We want to do whatever. And
as a matter of fact, if you look at the Studebaker there right now, these guys here, this is the fourth time they've been back today. I let them get in the car, sit in the car, hang out. They just want to hang out with us. They're just good people, and that's the way we treat everybody.
Exactly. Now I'm going to tell you about one of your members that I had on at the Hot Rod reunion.
Okay.
A lady by the name of Sue Christensen.
Oh, wonderful
Great
family.
Lady, 57 Chevy Suzy Q funny car.
Yep.
I pulled up to talk to her. She had a little 7-year-old kid sitting in the seat, and his eyes are bigger than any pair of slicks and any race car out here.
Yep.
And we not only interviewed her, but we interviewed him. and that's what drag racing used to be, guys. And you guys know that. You guys, you do what should have been being done all along, and had it been being done, things would be a lot different.
The big show tries to do it. They try to have their fans in the stands. It's all, it's profit to them. And for us, it's the love of the sport. We know that the fans in the stands are the bread and butter for the track. We want the track to be respected, the fans to be respected, and most of all, respect the racers. Because if you build it, they will come. And we felt that we built the best mousetrap that there is.
Hey, no doubt about it. For mine and T's money, buddy, we have had a blast doing this show, and we have got to talk to some of the nicest racers that we've had the pleasure of talking to all season long. And trust me, we talked to a lot of them, of everything with wheels on it.
I may not be able to remember them all, but if I don't thank some of the sponsors, I'm going to be up the creeks.
Oh, you got to. Hey, please do.
Yeah, we got International Association Machinists and Aerospace Workers has been our series sponsor for 3 years running. They represent folks across the nation and in Canada that build our spaceships, our nuclear submarines, our jet aircraft.
It looks like they built half these race cars.
And let me tell you something. You go out there in the Harley lanes, every down tube fork on a Harley's got the IAM logo on it, because our members build Harley Davidsons in America.
There you go.
American workers. And we got Quick Fuel Technology has been with us for 3 years straight.
Doesn't get any better. No.
Arius pistons, steel rubber products. We got just so many sponsors, and I can't remember them all. I'm not John Force. I can't.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. There's not a radio show long enough for John Force.
Nick Arias Jr. Let me look at my car here. We got Deshaun Transmissions, AlkyBigger.com, Competition Products, Howard's Cams. So many organizations helping us, and without them, of course, we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
The front end's over there. Is there anything on it that you forgot?
Well, I got them. I got them. Yeah, there's a couple more probably. Deshaun, the transmissions, and the DJ Safety. Off the top of my head, Ruman over there with his Nostalgia products out of Brownsburg, Indiana. He built some great chassis. Freedom Racing engines. So many. Mike Sykeston. I'm sorry. Sexton Corporation. Yep, there's a whole bunch of them that we got, and I know that I've forgotten a couple, and I apologize, but that's off the top of my head, and without them, we just wouldn't be here.
There you go, buddy. Well, I tell you what, we want to give them all as much time as we can.
We appreciate that.
Because we appreciate the companies that get behind this grassroots effort that you guys are doing, because you're bringing drag racing back to where drag racing should be.
And this is...
It's just it's a pleasure, you know. It's some of the I can't say that about all of them, and this is a pleasure to come do. And honestly, I hate it that T and I are booked for the next couple of days, or we would spend the whole weekend here and forget the radio stuff. We'd be having a ball, hanging out, eating your wife's cookies.
Well,
you know?
yeah, and tonight, you know, if you're or Saturday night, you know, everybody are going to bring a dish. We'll have a pit party, and we're going to have 2,550 people here.
Is that cool?
Oh man, it is a family. We've created an extended family for every racer here.
Well, drag racing guys from the grassroots level like this is a family. I know for a fact I have the best friends that I have ever had in my life that I met at a drag strip, and they hang with you for the rest of your life, and they're just as much a buddy 20 years if it's 20 years when you've seen them as it is right now.
I think you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. Well, I've been there long enough. I've swung the hammer long enough,
that's it, man.
buddy, to what's a blind hog finds an acorn every once in a while. Is that what it is? And, you know, nobody loves this sport any more than I do. And I cherish all of the people I've met, all the friends I've had, and that are my dear buddies, and I consider you one of those.
I appreciate that.
And man, it's just the same. It's just a cool deal. This is not a job. This is fun.
Oh man, you're not kidding. I'm living the dream.
There you go.
Living the dream.
Well, I tell you what. You're the nightmare to a bunch of them. It may be the dream to you, but it's sure the nightmare to a bunch of those guys. But you know, all they see is the back of this old Chevy.
Yeah,
and
I know that old Fisher Body Company never planned on that car doing 163 miles an hour. That's for sure.
Oh well, you know, gee, give me a break, right? Whatever.
Real steel car.
Hey, they never figured on a Studebaker with a blown Donovan in it.
No,
either.
They didn't.
So. Guys, we're going to sort of slow this thing down. You'll hear just a little bit more from T and I before we pack up and head to the next venue for Event Radio. We're staying pretty busy and time to just about go rock and roll. But Dave, my friend, thank you so much. We always save the best for last.
Well, thank you, my friend.
And we always look forward to getting to talk to you at these events, and it is certainly our pleasure to have you join us and explain all the stuff from the Nostalgia Drag Race League.
Yep.
And I, for one, thank you for the countless hours of putting it together.
You bet.
Because you got a fan here,
have
a
the
big
folks
boy fan.
Make sure everybody out there looks us up online, nostalgiadragleague.com.
And they can get you on Facebook.
Oh,
there.
We got the Facebook. We got a pro boards where you can sit in and chat with us and get tech information and sell your stuff and find out all the information on the next race and the next season. And
you go, guys. You could go. We've tried to take a couple of little pictures to flip behind these shows on our archive page.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to go see all these cars up close and personal if you go to their site.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We've got rolling screens of cars and updates on the races and, the whole ball of wax.
Yeah, just where it's at.
Keeps people where it's informed and up to date. That's what we want to do.
Yeah, you're just where it's at.
All right, man. Thank you.
Dave, my friend, thank you so much. Guys, we'll be back with T and I in just a flash to close this little darling out for this event, this edition of Event Radio. We will be right back. Well, T-Bone, what do you think? This has been a pretty cool day, huh?
This has been a great day. Fast bikes, beautiful fast cars. Dallas has hit it on the head again, hit the nail on the head.
He always does.
He must be the godfather of drag strips. You hear all the guys talking about how sweet this place was.
Well, I guess he is, and
they appreciate his effort.
Well, they do appreciate it, and they appreciate everything that he does that goes the extra mile. And to bring this stuff and to bring this facility to them and to make it as nice as it is, and man, it just don't get no better than here.
Well, who would ever thought Harleys and nostalgia racing would go together? But Dallas.
I know. Dallas dreamed it up and made it work, and I love the guys that everybody says, oh, this won't work, And then
all the naysayers.
Yeah, all the naysayers. and then he just says, watch me,
Y'all watch this.
Yeah, y'all watch this, right? But this has been a really cool event. We get to ride for just a second before we get out of here and look around and I don't know.
The Midway.
Yeah, we'll check the Midway, but this event is really cool. What do you think? What was your favorite part? Or is there?
I got to say, Little Anglia with the man that raced with my dad, and that was a hot setup. Right?
Yeah. He knew just how much of a legend your dad was, and that's pretty cool. Because,
well, this man's a legend too. He's still walking the walk.
Yeah, I know, but trust me, guys, your dad was the bad Jose of his era, and there's not a lot of people that can say that they were the total threat, and Elmo Guy was the total threat.
Thanks, Bill.
And I know you miss him because I miss him, and Beach Bend has always been near and dear. I know we've done a tremendous amount of events from here this year, and rightly so, because
baby, you and we came out here every time we was about 7 years old till now. Every Sunday, every Saturday night, Friday night.
Seems like we're doing it again.
Yeah, what's that? What goes around comes
around. Yeah, deja
around.
vu, right? But so many of these events, and guys, for our audience, that if you think we don't go anywhere else, trust me, we do. It's just that
we got everything here in the backyard.
Yeah, there's so many really cool events that go on right here. There is no need to run around and go anywhere else because you can travel all over the country and you won't find any better ones than what go on a weekly basis right here. I mean, it's just I don't know. I'm tickled to be where we're from.
Couldn't ask for anything any better. I mean,
no.
Just all the events from the Harleys to the Nostalgia to the Hot Rod Reunion. It's here.
Yeah, and you just oh man, it's just so cool. And this is only Friday. We got Saturday and Sunday still left to go at this event, and trust me, the cars and bikes are still coming in. We have to load up and hit the road and go do a couple of more that we are already committed to do. Or they probably need to commit us. Maybe that's what I should have said. Do you think that's what it ought to be?
That might be what they mean. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's a Captain America original bike here that we're going to take a picture of it. We haven't
Peter
taken.
Fonda standing next to it.
Yeah, I believe it was, wasn't it? But we're going to take a picture of it so you can see it. But sort of makes you want to get on the road and ride a little bit and go on down the boulevard. But it's a carbon copy, of the Captain America bike that made all this stuff so famous years ago.
Only thing I can see different is the front fender. I think the real one didn't have the front fender on it.
Really? Is that what? I don't remember. We try to figure it out. But cool motorcycle, cool deal. We, T, what do you think?
I hate to leave, Spiv. I mean, they're still coming in, and looks like some fast scooters, real fast cars. And I think we need both of us get a do-rag before we leave for the golf carts.
No, I think you can wear mine. You're the one with the ponytail, right?
Yeah, I guess that's right.
No, you're the motorcycle racer.
Yeah, that's why I got to have a do-rag.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll get you one. Get you Mother You're the Most tattoo and the whole bit, But, we're having too much fun, buddy. I'm telling you. We're going to get out of here on this edition of Event Radio, and we're going to go on down and cruise on down the boulevard and see what other kind of things we can get into for you. Our plans are the next couple of days. There are a couple of really cool car shows going on, and we're going to start tonight with...
Also in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Yeah, also in Bowling Green. While we're here, we're going to make the best of it. But we're going to start tonight with, or the very next show that you'll get to listen to will be tonight for us, because we're going to the Juvenile Diabetes Block Party. We're going to get Terry go out and let you put your groove on. You reckon?
I put my groove on.
Get your groove on. You might want to. Would you get up and sing in front of them all? They got a band and everything. So
sure, why not?
Yeah, why not? We can't embarrass ourselves anymore. We already do.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Thank you. Elvis has left the building. But anyway, guys, we appreciate you more than you know joining us for Event Radio. We want to try to always entertain you just a little. and bring you the absolute superstars of the events we attend. That's what we try to do, and we hope you like it. And sort of like the old entertainer said, if you like it, please tell your friends. If you don't, keep it to yourself.
You listen, you like.
Yeah, we hope you do. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're on the road again, T-Bone.
Say bye.
See you guys.
You've been listening to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you heard about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Join us next time with your hosts, Spivey Williams and Terrible T Guy.